Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the delay like always. Video is a little bit of a reveal, but in combination with the reveal, I'm actually going to do a comparison because these are the things that fascinate me. Like as far as buying bags are concerned, I'm really into the like history and the comparisons that you have between Chanel bags. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into like the reveal part and then going to go ahead and get into the point of the video, which is going to be comparing a Chanel 225, which is a reissue size, with the Chanel medium large. So these are both considered to be classic bags, but stylistically they're different. So I'm just going to sort of basically lay out the differences between two of the bags, explain a little bit of the history, and then obviously you guys get to look at some fun bags and I get to show them. So that's cool. So without further ado, here is my new babe. This is a Chanel reissue, and it's my first reissue. So I've never purchased any reissue before, whether it be a wallet on a chain. I don't have anything that's even a small leather good. So this is definitely like kind of a foray for me. But this reissue I purchased in Vegas a week ago, and it's in like a light gold calfskin. And then the thing that's very like fun and Vegas-y about it is that the interior of this bag is hot pink, which is like super cool. And actually, if you can see, the pocket is also lined in hot pink. It might be really hard to tell on this video, but the pocket is also lined in hot pink. So when you have like an overhead view of the bag, if you're looking down at it, you can tell that the inside is pink. And then the chains and the reissue clasp, which is obviously I'm coming closer, which is obviously different than the like interlocking CC's clasp, is like a brushed gold. So it's super pretty. The style, before I get into the comparison, I always like to give you guys the style numbers for these. This is a 2017 spring summer bag, so it might still be available if anybody is interested. The product number is 17P as in Peter, A as in Apple 37586. Y is in yellow 60995, and then the color code is 3B as in boy 275. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to compare this bag, which is the 225 size reissue. So reissues are always considered to be classic bags. I'll get into a little bit of the history in a minute. This size is very similar to what would be a medium large on the bag that has the like interlocking CC clasp, which is obviously different than the reissue clasp, which is this like squarish one. So they're extremely similar in terms of their sizes and their layouts. And what I wanted to do is kind of go through the similarities between these two bags and then the differences, just so you guys can get a feel for like if I'm looking at a 225 or if I'm looking at a medium large, like what am I really looking at? So as far as history is concerned, and this is highly Googleable for anybody who's, you know, wants to go off the deep end reading about this forever, but essentially the 2.55, which is commonly known as like the reissue and like the classic, like I guess the oldest like version of the Chanel bag, is the bag that Coco Chanel first manufactured in February of 1955. So hence like 2 for the month of February 0.55. And it has a different clasp, which is this Mademoiselle clasp, and it also has different chains, which I'm gonna like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, there you go. The chains on the reissue look like this as opposed to just like a normal, I guess less complicated version of a chain. And this bag recently came out again, and it's kind of supposed to be like a copy of her original bag. So that's the 225 size, and they come in sizes that are numerical. Like, so as opposed to like the medium large, the jumbo, the maxi, the mini, the square mini, the small, the reissue series of classic bags is like the 224 bag, the 225 bag, which the yellow one is, the 226 and the 227. And they match up like price-wise with their classic counterparts. So this is the bag that Karl Lagerfeld came out with in the 80s, and it's distinguished by the fact that it has the CC clasp, and then obviously these chains that have like the woven leather through them. So like depending on the leather of the bag that you purchase, you get the leather woven through the chains. So the reason I want to do a comparison is because these two are obviously the most like similar in terms of sizes. And I just want to go through the basic like similarities and differences, which obviously I've just said like 200 times already in this video. Sorry if I'm a little rambly today. I'm super tired. So, so anyway, price point on these two bags is exactly the same. If you want to get the reissue or if you want to get the, I guess, classic, I'm just going to use those terms. Chanel terminology is so confusing, so I apologize, you know, if you guys disagree with the way that I'm categorizing the bags. I totally get it, but for just the purposes of the video, I'm trying so hard not to say all intents and purposes, which I say all the time, but for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to call this the reissue and this the classic, even though they're both classic bags. Very confusing. So price point is exactly the same at $4,900. And obviously both of these bags are considered to be a classic. So if you're concerned about like the investment purposes of purchasing a Chanel bag, I don't think you should worry about whether you're getting this style or this style. They're both considered to be classics. And then obviously the colors, like so every season, they come out in seasonal colors. So these are obviously seasonal colors. Both of these are from the 2017 spring summer collection. And then they're also available in the classic colors, which are black and then used to be beige clair. And then in the classic versions of these bags, the interiors would have that maroon leather, which is sort of like the hallmark of a classic bag. Although I've seen maroon leather on non-classic bags, so I don't really know like what that exactly means. But anyway, these are kind of like the similarities between the two bags. I have another note. Oh, I'm such a dummy. And then the other thing that's super similar about them is their layouts are the same. So they both have like a turn lock clasp on the front. Obviously, stylistically, they're different. This turn lock has the CCs. This has a Mademoiselle clasp. And then both bags have the pocket on the back. And then both bags have like the 4 grommet holes on the top. So on both of these, you can either wear the chain long or short, just kind of depending on what you want to do. And then I'm just going to do, well, this is the new one, so we should have fun, right? As far as the interior of both bags, they're exactly the same. So they would open with the turn lock clasp. There's a pocket up here that I'm pointing to with my finger. There's room, confusing, nonsensical room to store things back behind here, which is behind the double flap. Obviously, here's a double flap. It has a snap that is theoretically supposed to attach here, although I've never used it and it's like super hard to snap on. And then the inside has the 2 pockets in the back with the lipstick holder, and then this 1 pocket in the front. So just very like rapidly, I'll show you. Hold on. That it's exactly the same for this green guy, where it has the zippered pocket here, the super confusing, nonsensical pocket back here, the double flap part where it attaches to the snap, the inside that has the 2 like rear pockets and the lipstick holder, and then the front flap. So like structurally, they're like almost identical as far as bags are concerned. And obviously the price is the same, and the medium large and the 225 are kind of like in the, like they're kind of the same bag, I guess, for lack of a better way to like otherwise describe it. Okay. So then where they differ, obviously we've already talked about the fact that they have 2 different turn locks. This is supposed to be like her classic Mademoiselle turn lock, and this one that I'm pointing to on the green bag is a Karl Lagerfeld design. If you want my opinion on it, I actually am just starting to really like the reissue. I had never purchased one before because they seem a little like older, if that makes sense. These seem, the green bag and the style of the green bag seems to me to be like a little bit younger, but for some reason I absolutely love this, and I think we might be going off a cliff, so we'll find out. We'll see where the cliff will take us. And then the another difference between the bags, obviously the difference with the chains. So I'm gonna try to like get these to stop moving and hold them up. Can we get them into focus? Okay, I think that's like fairly visible. So you can see with the green bag that you have the green leather and it's interwoven between pieces of silver hardware. And then the Mademoiselle chains are like much more detailed. It's kind of like a super, that's a good picture of it there, just sort of like a super intricate detail. And I was reading on the internet that these chains are supposed to be designed or like based on like when she grew up in I think a convent or an orphanage, on the proprietors like chains that they would carry their keys on. So there's kind of like a significance to Chanel of these chains. So those are obviously different. Sizing, I have seen online interesting measurements. I really think these bags are almost identical in terms of sizing. So the medium large is like a touch bigger, but only in terms, in my opinion, of the length of the bag. So when I measured this with a tape measure, I found that the medium large was 10 inches like wide. What I'm doing here with my hand is the international symbol for wide, 7 inches tall. And then the width of the bag is always like so hard to measure, but it's approximately 2.5 inches, if not like a little bit bigger. And that's me sort of measuring it like from the base, like so kind of down here, because it does narrow like up at top. And then this Reissue bag is slightly shorter. So here it's 9.75 inches. So really you're just cutting off like a quarter of an inch. And then I also thought that they were the same height, which is 7, I guess, like, let's see. Yeah, they're both about 7 inches high. And then I think you can tell that the Reissue here is a little bit wider at the base. I had it measured at about 3 inches. So I know if you look online, you're gonna see varying measurements, and that's just kind of what I came up with. So this bag, I would think they would hold, and I'm probably gonna do like a what fits video, although for the sake of like a 1/4 inch in width and a 1/2 inch in depth, I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference as far as what fits. So they're pretty much like exactly the same size, but they are a little different. So technically it falls in the differences category. And then the only other difference is with the chain length. So the chain length on a medium large, I'm holding it up, if you extend it all the way, is 16 inches. And I'm gonna stand up and kind of show you, and I am, once again, not appropriately dressed. Like, I promise you guys that I get so dressed up like during the week when I go to work, and then I have really good intentions to put on like a cute high-waisted skirt and do these videos, and then for whatever reason I'm always in like a Grateful Dead shirt and sweatpants. So sorry, I can't help it. But anyway, the chain length on the Reissue is longer, so this is definitely different. It's 19 inches. So let me stand up and put these on, and I'm just gonna kind of back up and show you what's going on here. Okay, so if you can see, here we go. I'm about 5'5". I know I'm cut out of the frame because my high-tech camera equipment reveals that as such, but that's me holding the Reissue. So you can see that it hits like right at my shorts line here. If I put on the medium large, and actually you can just tell, I wish I could back up even further. I need to get like someone to take these videos for me. But anyway, you can tell that it's definitely like way shorter. So this is like all the way up at my hip, and this guy is all the way down at my shorts. So that is actually like a pretty substantial difference between these bags, especially if you, you know, if you're taller or shorter, and really depending on your style. But again, the chains can always be doubled on both of them. So for measurement purposes, you can pretty much have those numbers where the green bag would be approximately 8 inches, like if you doubled the chain, and then the yellow bag would be approximately 10 inches if you doubled the chain. And once again, you're going to see some different measurements if you look around online, but essentially that's kind of what my tape measure showed. So anyway, that's kind of the general presentation of both of these bags. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have fun and exciting weekends, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks with another video. Thanks.